How's it going, friends? I'm Jay Sennett. Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Jay here in my Jazzy J kitchen. Hope you all are doing well. Thanks always for watching. And thanks to Feast Virginia for the sponsorship of the show. Much appreciated. I was thinking about desserts. I've never made a dessert on the show, and I thought maybe I'll pull out one of my desserts. I don't eat a lot of desserts, so consequently I don't make a lot of desserts. But the ones I make, I think, are pretty tasty. And then when I make them, I end up giving them away to my neighbors, most of them. But growing up, my grandmother always made like the pound cakes, like vanilla pound cake or lemon pound cake. And they were some of my favorite cakes as a little boy. And I learned to make these pound cakes. And I hadn't made one in a long time, many years. And recently I pulled out the idea for the lemon pound cake, and I made it, and it was delicious. So I thought I would make the lemon pound cake for this edition of Cooking with Jay. So some dessert on this edition of the program. All right, so you ready to see how I put this cake together? All right, here we go. All right, here in this bowl we have flour and some other things. And the thing with baking, as I'm sure many of you know that do bake more than I do, it's more of an exact science. So it's not just like throwing things together and see if they work, but like I do most of the time with my other cooking. But you want to get a little bit more specific with your ingredients and levels and such. So in this bowl here, I have 3 cups of flour, 3 cups of all-purpose flour. I have about a small 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Okay, so ginger, baking powder, salt, and flour. And I'm using the sifter, of course. These things take me back because my grandmother used to use one of these. So it's like I'm reminiscing as I make this cake. All right, so that's the flour mixture right here. Flour, salt, baking powder, and ground ginger. A 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now, here's where it gets a little noisy. In this bowl, I have a cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar, okay? And I'll use my hand mixer. So I won't talk much during this. And it'll start to lump up a little bit. So you want to get it a little bit smooth. Turn this off for just a moment. I softened the butter a little bit. Should have softened it more, but it starts to get to like almost like a paste, right? Okay, now what I'm going to do now is add 4 eggs. Right, 4 eggs to my butter and sugar. One more. Okay, mix these in a little bit. Okay, now I want to add about 3 tablespoons of lemon zest, okay, which works out to about the zest from 2 lemons. All right, so 3 tablespoons of lemon zest, and one of my personal favorites, some Grand Marnier or some other orange liqueur. I put about 2 tablespoons, maybe 2 tablespoons. That's more like 3 tablespoons. But you know, who cares, right? And vanilla flavoring, put about a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring in here. All right, turn the mixer back on. In the meantime, I forgot to tell you that turn your oven, preheat your oven to 350, okay? Preheat the oven to 350. Okay, now what I'm going to do now is gradually add this flour mixture. A little at a time. And it's going to get thicker, turn into like a dough. Here I have a little bit more than about a half a cup of buttermilk, okay? Turn this off so you can hear me. About a half a cup of buttermilk. Slowly put some of that in there. Now add some more of this flour. A little bit more of this buttermilk. Add the rest of the flour and the rest of this buttermilk. Yeah, getting there, getting there. Yep. Okay, I think it's just about ready. Take the beers out. When I was a little boy, I would lick these, but I'm not going to do that. At least not on camera. Okay, so I have that, and I have 2 loaf pans, okay? 2 loaf pans, about 9-inch loaf pans. And I want to put some of this batter in this one. And I'll show you how much to put in these things here in a minute. Okay. Alright, and then some batter in this one here. So you need 2 of these pans, these loaf pans, okay? And remember to preheat your oven at 350. Okay, get back to this in just a moment. But I wanted to kind of like even these out in the pan, okay? Like so. Oh, and butter these pans, okay? Grease the pan. I use butter, okay? I just melt some butter in both of these pans. Grease the bottom and the sides. All right. And how much in here? I don't know. It comes up about 1.5 inches, 2 inches maybe, of the batter. I'll put a little bit more in this one. Because this one here looks okay. All right. All right. We're looking good. We're looking good. We're looking good. Okay, so Now I want to get some of this batter off the sides of the pan. Baking is also messy. All right. Okay. Okay. So here we have the batter ready to go. I'm going to put them in the oven. The oven's preheated at 350 degrees. And I want to set the timer for 50 minutes, okay? 50 minutes. Okay, put the cakes in the oven, and they're going to bake for about 50 minutes, and through the magic of editing, it will seem like just a few seconds. I'll come back and I'll be pulling the cakes out of the oven, okay? So, lemon pound cakes on this edition of Cooking with Jay. So I'll tell you this recipe one more time. 3 cups of flour in one bowl, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, small quarter teaspoon of salt, quarter teaspoon of ground ginger. Sift that in a bowl, okay? In another bowl, a cup of butter and 2 cups of sugar. Whip that till it gets fairly pasty, creamy a little bit. Then add 4 eggs, 3 tablespoons of lemon zest, about a couple of tablespoons of some Grand Marnier, and about a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. All right, here in this eggs mixture. With the flour, the sugar and the butter. Excuse me, the sugar and the butter, and then whip those till everything is blended well, smooth, and slowly add the flour mixture, right? And then get a little bit of buttermilk, not quite a half a cup, not quite a half, and add a little bit of the buttermilk in intervals like you do with the flour, okay? Beating constantly and till it smooths out, and preheat your oven to 350. Get some 9-inch loaf pans, grease them with whatever your choice is. I use butter because butter gets that flavor and that texture on the bottom of the cakes. Oh, and bake 350 for about 50 minutes, okay? I'm going to take a little break, and when I come back, I'm going to be pulling the cakes out of the oven, which is going to seem just like just a couple of seconds through the magic of editing. We'll be right back. Okay, there's one. And there's 2. All right, now, let's see if they're done. If the stick comes out dry, yes, perfect. Try this one. Yep, dry. They are done. Did some baking on this edition of Cooking with Jay. My lemon pound cakes. And if you're tuning into this late and you missed the ingredients, just go back to the beginning of the video, and take you through it and how I make these cakes. And but something I want to mention to you that I also made. Let me go over here and get it out. Da, 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 da. I made some lemon icing. Wow. Taste that. I'll tell you how I made this icing, right? 3 cups of confectioner's sugar, or powdered sugar, right? A half a cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I put just a pinch of vanilla flavoring in it as well, And then you mix well, right? 3 cups of powdered sugar, half a cup of butter, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, not zest, juice, and just a pinch of vanilla flavoring. Mix well till it gets creamy, and then you have yourself some really good lemon icing. Yes, you do. And it'll be perfect for these cakes. Lemon pound cake, or cakes are made too. I'm going to go have a slice when they cool off a bit. And I want to thank you again for watching Cooking with Jay, which airs Sunday evenings at 6 on the WHO Public Media Facebook page. I want to thank again Feast Virginia for the sponsorship for the program. And 6 o'clock Sundays on the WHO Public Media Facebook page, Cooking with Jay. Tune in. And don't forget about my Senate in Session Jazz show Monday through Thursday nights from 9 until 1. Saturday mornings from 1 until 5. Sunday afternoons from 1 until 5. On WHRV 89.5 FM. And I also host the R&B Chronicles on Friday nights. Some great soulful music for you on Friday nights from 7 until 8, also on WHRV FM. Been doing this a long time, folks. Over 30 years now. Hosting jazz, hosting the Chronicles, and I've been cooking for a long time too. And the show's fairly new. But thank you for watching. Be safe out there until the next edition of Cooking with Jay. We'll see you then. I want to tell you though, I'm going to start having some guests on the show with me, some great chefs doing some joint cooking with me soon. That's coming soon. So stay tuned in. Peace. Be safe. Hi everyone, Jay Sennett here. Join me for Cooking with Jay Sunday evenings at 6 on Facebook at WHRO Public Media, with previous shows now available on YouTube at WHRO Public Media. So let's get cooking. Support for Cooking with Jay provided by Feast Virginia. Food is a human issue that needs everyone at the table. Visit feastva.org to learn more.